And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 145. So I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. As for myself, I am very busy these next couple of weeks coming up. Oh my God. So this week, as you guys know, I have to obviously do my taxes later on this week. I have to go out of town to get this hardcover graphic novel, which is the DC Absolute Power event that ended up happening last year. It's coming out in hardcover, so essentially a trade paperback. So I have to go buy that to review it with Labs Comic Fan. And then I have to obviously read that before Friday because we have to review it on Friday. And then also on Friday, I'm going to be doing a Scream watch party because I told Syfax that we're going to watch and review all the Scream movies before next year. That way when Scream 7 drops with Neve Campbell coming back, my God, she's looking like a extra sexy MILF now at this point. You know, she's all grown up now. Back. Yeah. So we're going to have that. And then my friend that you guys know that I hang out with IRL, we're talking about doing some extra spicy content for you guys. Nothing gay. Obviously, I'm literally heterosexual. But I'm bringing back something a lot of you guys liked before when I was on my main YouTube channel, when I was very popular and I had a lot of subscribers and I was getting a lot of money through YouTube. It's okay. It's okay. I'm over it now. We move on in life. You know, and he wanted to do his idea out. So he's helping me with my idea. So obviously I think it's fair for me to help him out with his idea. Also, I have 2 other one-on-ones to do this week as well. And then we have a new person joining the panel on Wednesday. And he also said he was going to help me out with the panels and doing movie reviews. Because as you guys know, we love movies here. So we should be doing movie reviews for you guys. So I do want to try to do that eventually to at least get it on a consistent basis. Like, okay, we're going to pick out a movie, and we're going to stick to it, and we're going to review it, obviously, whenever we do a show. So I was thinking I'm doing that with Syfax currently, but I have to pace myself with it. I can't just do like, hey, I'll review this movie with Syfax fucking Saturday. So that means I'm going to do it on Monday. You know how much time, guys, I don't have in my life? There's like literally yesterday, League of Legends, fucking hell. You guys when I told in the group chat, oh my God, games went until literally 7 o'clock. I was like, bro, I'm about to be dead. Oh God. So I had to put up the Cloud9 podcast until today. Chaz couldn't come through because he has to go to work in the morning. A black guy working. That's obviously not at all anywhere true. So James is going to help me out with the Cloud9 podcast tonight. So as you guys know, I'm very busy this week coming up and next week because I'm probably going to get railed by a girl next week. Wait, I'm supposed to rail her. Doesn't matter. You guys know the context of that. So yeah, your boy is very busy these next couple weeks. I like being busy, and I love you guys love the movie reviews. I know you guys do. I love them too. The problem with doing movie reviews is that it's not that I don't want to do them or that I don't like them. The problem here is like for me, when it comes to like content now, I want to consume it about a day or during the day of reviewing it because it's just fresh in my mind and I can go through it. That's why whenever I watch a new movie at the movie theater, I have to review it instantly because I want to get
think about it. You know, don't let it marinate or anything. You know, no
deep
thoughts needed.
Are you a Mormon? That's what Mormons do during sex. They let it marinate. They don't thrust in their wives. Are you trying to be a Mormon?
So that's not what they do. I believe it's the youth, you know, kind of like there's the Catholic loophole. I think theirs is soaking or whatever.
Okay. All right, Gray. I'm pretty
I know
cares about thrusts.
I do know what you mean, MSK. I like to try to get it out quickly, but at the same time, I do like to gather my thoughts about it. So at least maybe
a day,
at least a few hours, if not early the next morning. Just
yeah, that's what I like to do.
Get my review out.
So after, yeah.
At least I can get my thoughts together on it.
Do you guys have that problem too when you watch movies on since we like review it on like I could say people's channels? Is like that's the only thing I can think about is how much I want to break down and talk about it. It's at the point where I'll literally watch other people's movie reviews of the movie to see if like I missed something to maybe like go, okay, I didn't see the perspective when I watched it. That's why I'll usually like watch movie reviews now. It's like after I've seen it so I can kind of like keep it fresh in my mind or I can keep the movie's like image in my head. Now, there are movies that I've watched recently that have stuck in my head no matter what. I could like talk about them freely, but like Sonic 3, recently watched Sonic 3, as you guys know, it was a blast. I could review, me and Nate reviewed that top of our heads just off the dome because we remembered it so well. Like there's certain movies that really stick out with me after I watch them, you know, or I sit there and watch Dune and I'm bored out my ass and I want to freaking hang myself.
Dune was great.
Oh no, you're one of those people. No, he's setting up the world. He's no.
I'm just saying it was good. I'm just saying it was great. I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. You can be okay, but it was great.
I wouldn't say that I didn't like it. It's more like I wasn't in a bad mood because, like, with movies now, I realize to myself I have to be in a good mood to watch them. I want to put myself in a good mood. Maybe have some snacks, some drinks, not popcorn. Probably some crack. Probably some potato chips.
You've got to. I mean, that makes sense. Like, go with you should have your party favors. But I don't know. I guess that makes sense why you don't watch that many movies if you've got to be in a good mood. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're mocking Dune, but I take it you haven't seen Dune 2? MSK?
I'm not wasting my life, Gray. I'm already 30 years old. I don't got much time in my life.
So Dune 2, he heard the feedback
people say it
from
wasn't
one.
as boring as the first one, which is good.
No, he literally heard the feedback from one that a lot of people thought that it was a glacial pace, even though it's beautiful art. But he cut it like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. Like it's supposed to keep your interest, and a lot of people have praised it, but man, did it get snubbed because it got released in like March of last year. If it had gone on its original release date, I think it would have a lot more representation up there.
I heard it didn't qualify for the Academy Awards.
Bit too.
God, fucking hell, man.
Not only that, best popcorn bucket of the year last year. I'm just saying.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or the Alien one? The Alien Rumbles one looked pretty good.
Did you see the worm? I'm just saying.
Oh, you're right. It was the one people were looking at it like a fleshlight.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like.
Which I never used. I have women that I bang out every once in a while. I have their numbers on speed dial. They want to get BBC'd out. But
speaking of movies, MSK, I went to see Companion over the weekend.
We did,
and
awesome.
that was a pretty great movie. Like the main character or one of the main characters is like this love companion robot, sex robot. You'd love it, MSK. It's
okay.
It's
right started off as like,
but no, seriously though, the movie itself is freaking good. I was not expecting to like that movie as much as I did, because a lot of the movies through January, those are the ones they just kind of put out there. They need to get out there to get some content out there. And some of the ones I saw this month were decent and I found a few of them entertaining, but nothing that were spectacular or anything like that. This was the only one I went to that when I came out afterwards, I was like, damn, that was actually pretty good. I wasn't expecting that.
Wait a minute.
Dude, I love Jack Quaid, and Sophie Thatcher is just like amazing. She killed it in Heretic.
You know what's funny?
So I want to see
Sophie Thatcher, I just saw Heretic for the first time, and she was great in that too.
Hell yeah.
I remember the trailers. Wait a minute. They played trailers for this. Yeah, it's Jack Quaid. It's the whole like he's trying to recapture a girlfriend or something like that.
No. That's
well, that's unclear.
Supposed to come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's yes, he's in two of them in like a month apart for some reason. But
yeah.
This one, if you saw a trailer for it, hopefully it's not the last one because it kind of gives away one thing. But yeah, it's just kind of mystery. Love hurts or something.
They take a lot of the tropes that you would see like in a thriller of a bad relationship, like in a movie or something like that, but they kind of twist it on its head a little bit, and they have a sci-fi element there, so it was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to like it the way that I did.
Yeah,
just the fact that it's a January release, I was expecting like that sucks because I like those actors, but
seriously,
I hear nothing things, so I'm excited to see it.
Seriously, Gray, the only reason I went to see it was so I could get some content out on my channel. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to go see this. And afterwards I was like, oh my God, this was cool. I liked this one.
Like, that's what I always tell people is, like the average narrative is that every movie you're going to watch is bad. It's just not true. It's just not. Or even if because that thing, it's all going to be, let's say, subjective at some realm, no matter how much you're going to talk about it. Like, you're going to watch movies you had absolutely no hope of being good and come out being surprised. Now, people have said, well, if you had no hope for it, does that mean that it came out good because your hopes were low or because you just didn't care? It's like, guys, in life, there's this thing called who gives a fuck. Sometimes things just happen, okay? Not everything has to be mx squared plus b divided by the diameter, divided by 2. It's just like, what if it was just good? How about that? That's called life. I went to a Denny's and I bought a hamburger. I didn't expect it to be good, and it was fucking good. And I enjoyed eating that hamburger. I put it in my mouth, all that meat, and I loved it. Now it's kind of gay out of context, but I'm pretty sure you guys get the point here.
In context, Denny put his meat in your mouth. You enjoyed it.
No, God, man. But what came out this month? I know Companion, Den of Thieves 2 came out. This is the only thing people talked about, really. Let me look up January movies that. Oh, there's the Netflix movie with Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx that's supposed to be dropping very soon, unless it already did drop, honestly.
It did drop like a week ago or something like that.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. I
Which
one
again? Sorry.
What the hell was that called? Back in Action or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I saw it.
It's the trope where, like spies, they've retired, but now they're pulled back in. But this time they have kids.
You know what? There are elements of it that are kind of fun. If you want to just turn off your brain and just watch it, it's okay.
Oh, it's one of those movies. It's like it's so good.
Yeah, it's nothing that's good. There were parts of it where I was just like, oh God, this is stupid.
Oh, hold on.
Other times,
do they have sex?
Kind of meant to be that way. I don't think they were meant to take it seriously.
Oh yeah.
If you just turn off your brain, maybe you could enjoy it.
So basically, if you numb your brain out to the absolute worst possible capability, that means you must enjoy it.
But you know what? I think it was kind of cool seeing both of them back in a movie. So that I think was more the novelty of it than anything else.
What about Dogman came out?
Yeah, that released.
Same with Wolfman. There were a few different man-animal.
Why is Dogman, Wolfman? There are coincidences there. Just putting it out there. But Gray, did you like Wolfman? I didn't hear that many good things about it.
I did not. I don't know. I know Leonel does like some interesting things. I didn't hate The Invisible Man, but not a big fan of Wolfman. He took some choices and it wasn't my thing. That being said, I didn't hate it as much as I was expecting to from all the other reviews, but it wasn't great.
I heard too much mixed about it, and so I didn't go see it.
It's hard to recommend it.
Well, the thing is that I was just busy with other stuff, and so I was like, I'm not going to go make the time to go see it, just simply because I've heard too much mixed about it. And there were a couple of other things that I could release on my channel that I was reviewing, so I just released those instead.
That makes sense. I just caught up on a bunch of 2024 ones that I wasn't able to see, like a lot of those Oscar or award ones that they kind of released right at the end of the year.
Oh God. The Oscar bait movies. I remember like a few years ago, we tried reviewing all the Oscar bait movies. So I understand why people like them. I understand why they're celebrated as movies to a certain extent. But every time you watch one of those movies that are like Oscar bait or they're Oscar winning, they have this eerie, dreadful feeling about them. All of them do. Every single one of them have the exact same tone. They are trying to make you depressed watching these movies.
Well, don't watch Emilia Perez. That's terrible.
I don't know. He might find it inspirational. But representation for MSK.
I actually ended up walking into it because my significant other was watching it on Netflix, and I walked into it about 5 minutes into it, and so I sat through the whole thing, and oh my God, that's easily one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It was bad.
I fully agree. And like even the songs, like it's like it honestly felt like it was like an SNL parody of what like a musical would be, especially like the progressive musical that's going to take on the Oscars. It is crazy that that's got 13 nominations.
What's sad to me is that won for Best Musical at the Golden Globes. How in the hell did that beat Wicked?
Dude. Well, so not just Wicked, but it's like, okay, so I don't know who the hell Robbie Williams is. I couldn't have pointed him out from a lineup before, but my God, Better Man is like an awesome musical. It is done by the dude who did Greatest Showman.
I've heard great things about that one.
It's weird. Like, there's no reason why I should have liked it. I got dragged to it, and it's like, holy shit, I like this. Where, I don't know, like, Wicked, yeah, it's great, but man, do they kind of stretch it out. Like the Broadway show is not nearly that long, and it's both parts of the story, so it's interesting. I got some issues with it where like Better Man, I was just expecting like trash, and it really had me. So I don't know, there were some other musicals that I wish had gotten kind of I think same thing with now I'm forgetting A Complete Unknown. I heard like nothing but great things about it, but man, there's a documentary out there that it really shows the same performances, but they're real and they don't take the like liberty of changing what happened when, and they actually keep the story somewhat accurate. So I don't know. I found that one superfluous, where there's other ones that also got snubbed by the Oscars, like Kneecap, where, man, that one's just amazing.
Yeah, I just for the life of me can't figure out how Emilia Pettis got nominated over all of just a lot of the ones you mentioned there. I've either heard good things about them or the ones that I've seen were much better.
You ever?
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Let me rephrase. I know why it got nominated, but that's a whole nother story.
Or Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. I remember the only lady that was nominated for that was Ariana DeBose. That's her name, right? It's a Puerto Rican chick who was doing the supporting role. I was like, a movie with Rachel Zegler nominated for an Academy Award. Please let me not be in this timeline. I don't want to.
Come on, isn't that what you want in your gangster movies? Though, is a bunch of snapping.
Not snapping, dancing, gangsters snapping and dancing, talking about bullshit. Like if you do that in New York, they're gonna think you're fruity. They wouldn't bother murdering you. They'll just laugh at you. That might be even worse, honestly.
I wouldn't even know if it was BS because they didn't put the subtitles. So,
oh my god, man, Rachel Zegler.
That was such a dumb idea to do that. I mean, I have no idea what they were thinking with that one.
Steven Spielberg. He's made some hits. He definitely has some classics, some masterpieces, but he's at the point in his career, he's just doing anything at this point just to make movies, and that movie bombed really hard, and then Hollywood always has talked about like, well, why aren't fans always watching the Oscar movies or the Academy Award winning movies? It's because movies like those, people say they want those movies, but they don't. We know it by the numbers. Those movies significantly do not make as much money as the other stuff. It's just what it is. That's just a factual statement, And it's also another thing where if those movies come out, people just don't tend to watch them because, first of all, those movies, like we said earlier, those are depressing movies. Have you guys watched some of them? I've watched a lot of them throughout my life. They're depressing. Go watch Pursuit of Happiness, and you tell me if you feel better after watching that.
That's a good movie, but I agree with what you're saying. Too. It's not exactly. It's not exactly an uplifting movie where you're walking out with a smile.
I mean. Kind of works out in a way, though. There's much more depressing ones.
Love seeing the black man down. I'm
just saying, dude, how many times can you watch Requiem for a Dream? Like that one, just it is just. Oof. It's a great movie, and it is. I never want to watch it again.
What about what was that movie that the guy who played Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, and what's his name? Matt Damon. They were in a movie with Ridley Scott a while ago, back in 2021.
Yeah, The Last Duel. Dude, it's the only one that like the theater attendant like warned me like for.
Yeah. Gray?
I think we lost him. No, I saw The Last Duel. You know what? There were parts of it that I thought were kind of interesting. I kind of liked how they showed the different perspectives. I thought that was kind of cool, but the movie itself just didn't really.
But the problem with movies like that one, once you've seen a version of that movie, you've seen them all. That's the thing. Is like, and the whole grape scene, it wasn't as graphic as they said it was, and then the movie plays on this aspect of like, did she enjoy getting banged by that guy? Because the dirt. I remember I did a review of that movie that no one's ever seen, where I said that to someone. They're like, MSK, are you smoking crack? Like, no, I'm not making that up, guys. In the movie, if you watch The Last Duel, it's implied based off the circumstances before the grape that she kind of enjoyed it. I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying it's implied there. That's how I saw it. Now, obviously, it's a movie where, like, okay, because people always ask, how do you get people back to the movie theaters? This was back when like the certain virus was kind of getting over its part in freaking movie theaters. Like. You ain't gonna take your girlfriend to see that. No. If you're on a date with a hot girl, let's go watch The Last Duel. Yeah. She'll probably never date you after that one.
No, you mentioned why people don't watch the Oscars because they don't like those types of movies. If they were realistic and actually nominated movies that people actually went to go see, then people would watch the Oscars. People like for example, you see a Top Gun Maverick, or you see some of these others, and what they do is they'll throw those movies a bone and nominate them for like Best Picture, because Best Picture has like 10 different nominations now, so they'll throw a few of them out there for movies that are popular, but they have no realistic shot at winning because they've already made up their minds what's going to win it.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Oscars or Academy Awards or like the fucking, what was the other one? Golden Globes. They don't nominate the movies that make the most money, and they don't nominate the movies that people are actually talking about. Like they had put out earlier that Sonic 3 is ineligible. Well, and keep in mind, this is a Hollywood that's putting out these ideals that they love about inclusivity, diversity. Sonic main character is a supersonic hedgehog, and the main leading character of the movie is a black lady and a white dude in an interracial marriage. Guys, these are things that they say they want to freaking promote, but when certain movies have these kind of elements, they're just not allowed to be in. Also, the thing that you said earlier that makes a lot of sense too. I think what I think is the thing? They look down on movies like that. Like Sonic, for example, Sonic 3. Movies like that wouldn't be a consideration for them because they see it as a movie that's like, for kids. And it's like, who are you to decide that? I never got that argument with people, dude. Well, it's a movie for kids. Was it good? But what? Okay, so I don't know. If something's for kids, it automatically means that we just kind of don't care about it. Do we care about it? It's like everyone's rules for it are so cryptid and weird, actually.
No, I think there's truth to that, and that's the case in a lot of entertainment. They have certain types of genres or things that just are already going to be looked down just from the get-go. And so, like you said, it's just not going to get the consideration. It might get the consideration in a different topic, or I mean a different genre. Like for example, you mentioned like, is it for kids or something like that? Well, that's why they'll have like the best animated movie. Like they don't want to throw the best animated movie up for the best picture. And if they do have it in there, it has no real shot at actually winning it, because again, they're already going to look down on it from the get-go.
Yeah, I do remember back in 2021 going into 2022 that people on Twitter or like on social medias were also asking for like No Way Home to be. It's crazy. People wanted No Way Home to be nominated for something. I was like, that's crazy, but okay. Like the people are asking, hey, can you please nominate this? That's what would get guys. I'm being honest here now. The way you get the average person to care about the Oscars or the Golden Globes or the Academy Awards again is you have them and ask them what movies they would like to win these things. Because keep in mind, Hollywood's only giving some of these movies all these accolades because it's like, how would I say this? So it's like a proved status they want to give you. It's like the things that they deem worthy enough. But what if I deem Sonic 3 worthy enough to win Best Picture? And money says other people did.
I mean, it would say a lot about you. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Like, what if I myself... Yeah, go ahead.
We have that already. It's the box office. It's who won like the most money,
who won the biggest dollars. Yeah.
And when you look at that, it usually is a family-friendly affair nowadays, which...
Remember The Bad Guys when that movie dropped? That was like the highest grossing movie with like all these other big movies coming out with all these big casts and everything. That's the reason why they lose at a lot of things now. They're just disconnected. Like the average person, kind of wants to see one of the favorite movies they watched that year nominated. Now, people always say, well, is it a good film as far as being up there in that category? Guys, I have watched many of these Oscar Academy Award winning movies. Just putting out here, all that's going to be subjective anyway. Every line of how you talk about a movie is going to be a subjective thing to the point where why shouldn't a movie like, we'll use a recent one, why can't Deadpool and Wolverine be in the same consideration as fucking another Oscar winning movie? Why not?
Well, it kind of is. There is this.
Didn't it win?
I forgot what they called it.
It won Best Comedy or something like that, right?
So at Golden Globes, they have it. What is it, like box office achievement? Or I forget what they called that category. There is a category for that, but all those pictures get recognized by the actual box office, and you're going to find out which is the top movie of that week or whatever. Where a lot of these that are going to the Oscars, they're never going to make that. Like they are very small films, but they're artistic films, and they generally get released very small. Like it's not like they'll release it in November just so the fact that it could get up there for the end of the year. I don't know, man. You're not going to have that same run as like Deadpool Wolverine. It's not going to be anywhere near the top 10.
Do you know what I think it is? I think they get angry and jealous that they're artsy films. And I like some of these movies too. I'm not saying they're bad. I like a lot of them too. They get mad that their artsy, well-made cinema gets beaten by people that portray superheroes. No wonder there's obvious reasons why those movies aren't allowed in there, because they're diverse now. People can say, but they're not. They're diverse now, despite us not wanting them to be diverse. I don't want them to be diverse. I'd rather just cast on merit. But they fucking cast people that aren't qualified for the roles, and they are diverse. So it's not that they're not diverse. That's definitely not true. They're still not allowed to be there. Like, why? Like The Dark Knight. That movie is kind of made in a fashion that they would like. That's why it got nominated. If you look at the way that movie's made, the way it's shot, the way it's portrayed, the way it's acted, it's obviously a superhero movie, but it's in the vein of like the way they like, it has to be shot a certain way. You have to talk a certain way. It's got to have a cinematic feel to it. I get it. Absolute cinema. I love me some Martin Scorsese. Absolute ass, but why can't a movie like, let's say we went and watch Trap? That movie sucks ass. Just an example here. Why can't?
Well, that's why it didn't get nominated, because.
And to be fair, it wouldn't be up for consideration anyway if we're just putting out there. But I think they should allow other genres of movies to be nominated. Let the people decide what they watched is the best. Now, there was a year they tried that.
You do that already. I'm just saying,
People's Choice Awards, great. So no one cares about those.
No, I'm talking about this new one, the MSK Popular Awards. It's basically just what was top 10 this month.
Don't give me any ideas, man. I got no time, man. I'm already strapped for time. An award show where I'm the host and I go, "Hello, everybody. Would you like my butt fucking buffet?" No.
Oh.
It came out better in my head when I rehearsed it. Then it came out like shit when I said it.
You rehearsed that?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what's more disturbing than that you said it or that you rehearsed it. What were you standing there like
standing there in the mirror,
in front of the mirror in the bathroom, and just rehearsing that over and over, laughing like, "Boy, this is going to be a great joke here. Let me throw this out there on the
show." Hey man, why can't Fast X be nominated for Best Picture? That's when we're really cooking there. Okay. Hey, The Flash. If that's nominated for Best Picture ever, you people need to have your heads examined. Like, actually, you need to be like banned from cinemas, honestly. But I think that's been my problem with what our discussion has led to, is like they choose to alienate a whole bunch of movies to highly elevate their considered approved cinema. And that's been my biggest problem. Like, some of the movies you watch that are considered like Oscar winning, they're good. I'm not even saying they're bad. Some of those are really good movies. Like, some of them are timeless classics, but
they got it right on a couple of them this year. Like, yes, okay, so Emilia Perez has 13 nominations. That 13, seems that's ridiculous, and it's one away from the top do you think she's nominated film of all time. Hopefully like 0 now that she kind of speed run her cancellation. That's what's gonna happen.
If those tweets had not come out, that thing would have cleaned house. I guarantee it. It would have cleaned house, because it would have been done to push back against current politics and stuff like that. They would have simply given it to that movie just as a statement, and now they won't. I would not have doubted it.
I am so glad that like the substance is there, and at least it's being recognized for quite a few different things. That's not your traditional Oscar or like super artsy one. It seriously is like Cronenberg Barbie. It's great, but it's not what I assumed the Oscars would be looking for. But man, the fact that true they snubbed Quali on that. I think she deserves a supporting actress role, but fair enough. They're still in there for like Best Picture, and I think director, and I think script as well. So hell yeah, as well as Demi. So hopefully they can clean up on some of these. But the fact that they're recognizing that, and it is horror, and it is graphic body horror, man, that's awesome. I'm really loving that made its way to the Oscars.
Yeah, I don't understand their thinking a lot of the times. And the example I always go back to, and I know this shows my age, but for the life of me, just an example, I cannot understand how the hell American Beauty beat out Saving Private Ryan. I just, like, to me, that's a crime. I mean, because I've seen both of them, and one's different than the other. Let's put it that way.
Hey man,
one is kind of held up.
Why can't Legally Blonde?
It's hard to see American Beauty the same way now.
Yeah.
After the whole Spacey thing, like, it makes you question. Oh, he's into younger people, huh?
Yeah.
Where Saving Private Ryan, like, you go back and look at that, it's like, wow.
It's a great movie.
I mean, I guess you got Vin Diesel in it, but other than that, it's great.
It still holds up to this day, so it's not like
one of Vin Diesel's best roles.
Did The Patriot win any awards? The one that Mel Gibson was in? I remember
Mel Gibson one, no.
God, man. I remember they showed that to me in school. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Then I realized, wait a minute, it's Mel Gibson being a patriot.
Hey, I like Mel Gibson's movies.
Speaking of Mel Gibson and January ones, Flight Risk, whatever that one was.
Yeah, Mel Gibson as a director, prior to Flight Risk, I think had directed 5 movies total. We're looking at
epic.
The Man Without a Face. We're looking at Braveheart, which won Best Picture. The Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, Hacksaw Ridge, nominated for Best Picture. I mean, these are home runs. And then I saw Flight Risk, and I was like, oh, wow.
Wahlberg shaved his head.
Oh, the other Mel Gibson one, the one he was promoting about the trafficking issue going on. It was the one that came out last year, right?
Oh, yeah, the Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Yeah.
He was promoting that one. That one was good. I actually liked Sound of Freedom.
It didn't make you feel antsy in the theater or anything watching it. Didn't make you feel bad?
I wasn't trafficking anybody, so why would I feel antsy? No, but I know what you're saying. No, it's not a movie that
MSK felt called out.
Yeah. It's not a movie that you feel settled on. Let's put it that way. You are unsettled by watching it. When afterwards you're kind of like, wow. I mean, your skin crawls when you see some of it, and they don't show anything graphic, but it's heavily implied.
Oof, God, man. Joker 2. Let's nominate that movie for Best Picture. No, please, no. Because
I'll give it credit. It was better than Emilia Pettis.
I will say this
for sure.
If you let people start advocating for certain movies that they've watched, they will promote some of the biggest horse shit ever. I guarantee you guys, if there wasn't rules to get to winning an Academy Award or a Golden Globe or whatever, someone would advocate for Joker 2 to be there. I promise you. That would be crazy.
Dude, it deserves to be there over a bunch of them that are there. I am in a very small camp on this. I did not enjoy the first one. Minimal. I enjoyed Joker Folie à Deux. So, I'm in the minority on this one. But I thought they did something really interesting for a musical. It was like improv jazz. They basically had like unlimited budget. So they decided to do no blocking, no rehearsal, no nothing really. Essentially, they're going to figure it out on the day, on the moment, on the floor. And then they're recording the actual audio live from that. It's interesting. It doesn't sound like a polished musical.
Sure worked out well. Really helped them at the box office.
Well, I think it's really misinterpreted. Like a lot of people, the way that they're kind of taking this.
Gray, you're going to be one of those guys. Oh, it's a misunderstood masterpiece. No, Gray, stop
Not a masterpiece. I think I'd give it 7.5, 8.
Okay,
but it's way better than people are saying that it is. I think they're missing it. The first one was somewhat ambiguous how it ended, so you could understand that is going to be him turning into the Joker, and he's going to be a supervillain from here on out. That's totally one interpretation. Why I didn't like the first one that much is it felt like King of Comedy. It felt like Taxi Driver. Essentially, this is not my Joker. That's Travis Bickle. And it turns out that's exactly what he was. But it is somewhat ambiguous that you can interpret it as, this is setting up what you want to see, that magnificent, triumphant, actual chance to be this supervillain. And that's not what it was. So I don't know. For me, I kind of got what I wanted. And
Gray,
I didn't hate it. It looked amazing.
Who possessed you
and
right now?
The music in there was quite awesome.
Are you possessed by a demon?
I mean, that could explain why I keep coming back here. But I don't know.
My thought.
I understand I'm on an island on this one.
Yeah, my thoughts are that it was a turd. However, I did think it was a well-polished turd because I do think it was a well-made movie. It's well acted. It's well designed. The sets look great. I thought the musical pieces themselves looked good. So I can't take away from the things that the movie did really well. I just hated the story, and I was so disappointed in it that when I walked out, like even during parts of it, I looked over at my girlfriend. I was like, "I'm sorry," because she just looked at me and she was like, "What the heck is this?" And I was like, "I don't know what this is."
Dude, I told you this. I think Monday around when we were doing this. No, I told you on our one-on-one when we talked about Joker 2. I think we talked about that on the show. I don't know. Maybe you're talking about how much money you're to give me out of your paycheck. You never know. I took my ex and I asked my ex and her sister, and she had a boyfriend at the time, to go watch it. So her sister was talking to me. She was with the other guy. And then she literally was like, "Oh, I like the first one." I was like, I like the first one too. Middle part of the movie, I think they were at the part before the midget gave his testimony. She was like,
"That scene was cool though. I did
he
like
has
that."
That's
the best scene in the movie.
It's Gary Puddles.
Yeah, after the grape scene. After the grape scene. After the grape scene, she was like, "This is trash," and I was like, "You know what? You're right. We literally did this." Like this, trash in arms. It's that meme from the fucking Predator movie, trash in arms. It's just so stupid. God, that movie is not good. Like, basically the same thing you said is something I agree with. I will say this. People said the musical was going to be the biggest problem with the movie. I'll be honest here. The musical stuff was actually good. I actually enjoyed the musical stuff. I actually enjoyed some of the songs. I enjoyed how like the mystique of it was. Like, I love the one part of the movie where he was shot and he didn't know who shot him. I like that. There was a few good stuff in there. A few good stuff. But all that drudge of shit that movie is, man. It's sad that the musical number of it was the stuff that was actually the best parts about it. That's crazy.
I actually thought that stuff looked cool. I like the way the design were on some of the or the way that they handled some of the scenes and some of the choreography and stuff like that, and the lighting and everything. I thought some of that looked really cool. So I didn't have a problem with that.
It is really amazing because like they came up with that on the spot. Again, like they didn't have blocking. They didn't really have like any of the storyboards set out on this. They kind of knew, okay, this is going to be essentially two people talking on the side of a cell. What do we do? So it took so much money to like have everyone wait around where you could have planned all this stuff before and done it so much cheaper. But you get this weird improv feeling from it that's unlike other films. But I thought the sets, the costumes, like everything in there was really amazing. And man, it's still this character dissection in a really weird way. And it's kind of how I would want that character to end. But I understand I'm in the minority. And I was wanting something out of this that apparently nobody else did.
The best scene, I think the best scene in the movie is also the movie's biggest missed opportunity. I think the entirety of the movie should have been what the court case is. So when they were in the courtroom, I think the movie should have been when you had a bunch of people from the last movie coming up and testifying and saying their experiences with Joker. Like Mr. Fiddles, whatever his fucking name was, the short dude. Whatever his fucking name was.
Gary Puddles.
Puddle Sticks, or whatever the fuck his name is. Just Puddles. Yeah. So when you had like Mr. Puddles doing that should have been the entire movie. Like you should have had a part where like maybe they had something from the asylum with his mom, where how she really felt about him. Just there's so many angles you could win with it.
Do you understand why they had Mr. Puddles there?
You could have had Bruce's dad. I forgot. Well, he couldn't. He died in the last one because randomly they inserted Batman's origin in the Joker movie. That was stupid. But there was a way you could have made that movie work. There was things there you could have had as nuggets for a great movie, but they just didn't happen. They chose to.
I would argue the whole thing. No, you totally missed it. So the whole thing was what that courtroom scene is about, and they kind of strike it home in a bunch of different ways. But it.
What the?
Fair enough. Okay, MSK. However you want to go.
Explain it to me, Lucy. Just kidding. Now,
it's about who he is. That everybody doesn't see him as Arthur; they see him as this character. And what you wanted to see was the character. You were the exact audience that he was talking about.
I'm glad I saw right through that bullshit. So, like, the problem with Joker 2 that I have is what the other superhero movies recently do. They contradict why they're even here at this premise. So earlier in Joker 2, because I think we talked about it in the open spoiler discussion, there's a part in the movie. I do. I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember watching the movie because it stuck out my head so bad. It was that bad. Where there's a part of the movie where someone in the movie questions that he's not really crazy. He actually enjoys doing what he's doing. So the crazy bit is an act that he's doing, you know, because a lot like that's the reason why people in Gotham are the way they are. Like people think, oh, we'll just kind of like treat them for this mental illness they have. No. They're actively doing it because they want to do it. He wants to be that way. That I think was one of the best premises they had in the movie. But then wait. But that means at that point you contradict the entire movie then, because if he's acting this way consciously, then kill him. Electric chair. Ended. But we keep playing with this as if like he's not constantly doing it, for we know he's doing this because is he mentally insane or is he actively trying to be this way? Because remember, in the first Joker movie, when he killed those people and he was doing the dance on the steps, you really felt like he was coming into his own. Like, okay, I'm going to be the Joker now. I had all these bad days. Fuck the world. I want to be this way. But in this movie, now we're playing with it. It's like, no, we already went through that in the first movie. He's doing it now because he feels like the world's against him. He wants to take it back, or potentially.
So your interpretation is exactly what he's saying. The audience, it is the commentary in this, that you want him to be the character. You're not accepting him for what he is, and you're not saying Arthur. Instead, you want the Joker. And that was my problem with the first one. It was like, okay, but this isn't the Joker. And that isn't like the ascension of it. But it was left somewhat ambiguous, so you could kind of see that him on top of that cop car is going to be his triumphant, transition into this character. But yeah, I don't know, man. It is that whole thing. It's you were seeing a man break with reality in that first one.
Yeah, that was supposed to be.
And you get to see that again here. Yeah, but way harder core.
In the first movie, you saw all that shit happen to him, and then essentially he becomes the version that he becomes the person that would happen if you had all those bad things happen to you, and you basically get to the point where the justice, the legal, we call it the medical system fails you, life fails you, everything fails you, and you just snap. He was supposed to be that embodiment, right? But then in the second one, if that's supposed to be a sequel to the first one, why is she should just be that way, right? Because he went through all that character development to be a villain, right? So then when he gets, let's just say, not graped, maybe they just ran hot water on him for a couple hours, which that's actually worse than graping. Imagine running hot water on someone for 2 hours. Oh my god, that's terrible. That then he goes, I don't want to be this way anymore. But then what was the point of the first movie then? If he doesn't want to be that way anymore, then why have the first movie then? The first movie was supposed to show him snapping to this point.
You missed the point of the first one. The point of the first...
Go, Bob.
No, obviously. It wasn't necessarily that this is the Joker. This is a man who has constantly wanted to be recognized, and he is ignored in every aspect of his life, and then he finally gets seen as something, except for they're not actually seeing him. They're not seeing Arthur.
It's the character. That was the point of the first movie. Yeah. No, when he was talking,
you don't want to see Arthur, MSK. You are the problem.
No,
as much as I hate you, as much as I thought that the the movie was a turd, the audience is practically Harley in Joker Folio, dude, because she wants the character. That's what she wants, and when she doesn't get it at the end, she leaves him high and dry. And that's the point. Kind of like the audience in this. He wasn't the Joker. We all said screw it.
He's definitely not what they wanted. And it's a bold move that is not going to please a lot I get that.
He's killing me tonight. It's fine. I like when people like movies that I don't like. It's fine. The thing I also up here earlier. Remember in the first movie when he was talking to Bill Murray, the old guy, the line he said, if I was just some random guy on the street and I was bleeding out to death, you would just walk past me. Him being Joker is the embodiment of that. People just looked past him.
Because Robert De Niro.
Yeah, people looked past him. That's why he told him that. And then now we have to essentially have a movie where we went through all of this growth, we went through to get to this Joker, and now we have to undo it. Now he doesn't want to be this way. But that contradicts everything then. Because he got to this point.
So he wasn't that way. It was a man who was losing his grip on reality, and then he actually got recognized as this character. Yes. People still didn't want to see him, where he's longed to be seen his entire life.
He said that in the first movie.
That is the point. Yes, so when he doesn't want to actually become the character,
I hate you.
It is upsetting to you.
No,
however,
it's not.
It kind of fits for the character. He wanted to be recognized for himself. And for a moment, Harley kind of helps him, you can become the Joker. You are the Joker. And he kind of believes it for a second.
Great. That's what girls do. Girls.
That's the one scene that you liked.
Girls say bullshit because she was a cloud chaser during the entire movie. Let's be honest. That was not really Harley Quinn. If people say he's not Joker, maybe fair enough. That was not Harley Quinn. That
was Lee Quinzel. Come on, man.
Fuck off.
Totally different.
I was just pissed that he wasn't the Joker at the end of the day. And I understand he was not the comic book Joker, and I get that was the point of it all, but it still was disappointing to me. He dies in a pool of his own blood as he gets stabbed to death. And we see the guy over in the corner carving a smile into his face is supposed to be the real Joker. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I don't even know that he's supposed to be the real one, but that's how the movement starts.
It
somewhat is, but if you remember the first one, it was implied that he was going to be it too. And even Todd Phillips at one point in one of the commentaries said, you can plug and play whatever version of the Joker you want from whatever universe into this.
What a retard.
And obviously that's not how he ended up going with it.
No, I'm not saying you. That what he said. I remember when he said that. I remember reading that. What an idiot! That just makes no sense. You don't just plug it. Whatever. Okay, it's fine.
He changed his mind at some point.
He did. We know he did. Changed his mind a lot.
Well,
in the second movie.
You make $1 billion on that first one. You're gonna say a lot of things, and then it's okay. So here is a blank check. Go on the second one. Are you going to follow anything that you said on this one-off thing?
I will give you one.
Knowing MSK, you're going to change your tune, but that's just me guessing.
I will give one piece of credit there. The movie does come full circle with the second one when it comes to the first one, where he said, "Oh, if I just died alone on the street, you wouldn't care about me." To be fair, at the end of the second movie, isn't that what happens? I will give Todd credit on that. You did tie that in, but that's not. But the point of all of what the good that I thought the first movie did, it's the second one just kind of, I don't know, man. It just, all that stuff I said earlier just ruins it for me. I do think the best part with the midget guy was great. But that's the thing, though. If what that
Puddles, come on, man.
No, fuck that Fiddlesticks. If what Fiddlesticks told him made him snap, why are we even here? Because remember, the reason why they had a court trial is to prove if he had remorse for his actions.
I'm trying to remember real quick. The was Mr. Puddles, was he a witness for the defense or the prosecution?
Prosecution.
Because I'm trying to, because I'm thinking that I dumped that movie out of my mind after I watched it. But but I think it would have made sense to have him as a witness for the defense, because he was talking about how Arthur was always nice to him. And that would have gone with the defense's their initial defense they were trying to take, was that it was like a dual personality for him. And I think that would have been good, that somehow he snapped and became somebody different.
Yeah, and then earlier in the movie before that scene, they were like, well, the Joker's who he really is. Arthur is just the what do you call it? The dual personality? Arthur is just the face. And it's like, which are we playing with here? Is it a dual personality, or is he finally the Joker? And he fired his attorney as well. Remember?
Because she was also putting that on him. Everyone's putting on him what he should be.
Yeah, they
nobody
wanted
asked him like,
"Can you?
What did you do? What was your intention on this?" Instead, he was just told, "No, you were losing your grasp on it. That wasn't you. There's a split here." It's kind of interesting, but it is a man's, attempt to actually solidify who he is and what he will be recognized for. I don't know. It wasn't a perfect, flawless execution of it, but I enjoyed it a lot more than you did.
Yeah, God.
Obviously.
I'll give him that. You did. I just think when we're at that part of the movie, when that guy told him that he actually liked being around him, and he made him break down like that, because keep in mind, he didn't break down for anything else. That's the weirdest part, is why was it that one that made him go, I don't want to be the Joker anymore? They said he did way worse. He did way worse things than what he did to that guy, which is something crazy, because he fucking murdered he murdered the two people in front of him, right? In the first movie? Or was one guy? I know he murdered in front of him, laughed at him, and then left the room. That would traumatize anyone. But it's like, that's what made you snap back to being normal? Then were you ever did you ever buy into your personality?
So you think the only thing that made him snap back into reality was Puddles being on
after that scene? Remember, after that scene, he was contemplating, Maybe I really have.
So there was more. He also had the only person.
We went back to Arkham, and the cops had their way with him.
Allegedly.
So, and then they killed the only person in there who seemed to be treating him like a decent human as well, like his one acolyte.
Right.
There was more than just the puddle scene that led him to break.
Yeah, but he actively went out and murdered people in front of him, even though that was a person that never treated him bad. So at that point in the first movie, you're thinking, okay, this guy's really had that one bad day where he just freaking really snapped. But then he's the Joker, and then now he's still the Joker. Because remember, that was the part of the second movie where he was like, you know what? He kicked out the lawyer he had. He was going to be fully the Joker again. But then now he doesn't want to be the Joker anymore. But that was the point. I just like, that's the problem with the movie. It's all these confusing narratives that don't stack up very well. It's all shaky ground, you know? What? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, okay, Lee. So you want him to be the Joker, and you're pushing him towards being this character. I gotcha. He's not what you want him to be. You're going to leave him high and dry.
You sound like one of them. Oh, no, we lost him, Bob. We lost him, dude.
No, I get it. I do get it, because he does make some points. I mean, I've never agreed with those points because I think the movie's trash, but they are. But I get what he's saying, because like at the end of the day, everybody is trying to get him to be this character, and
that's what he wanted to be. Though he wanted to be that at the end of the movie.
I guess he wanted to be that, and that's the whole point. Is that he wanted to be that because he did want to be recognized, and then we find out in the second one that in reality, that's just not who he is.
So you tell me we got fucked better, like worse than Harley Quinn. That's the problem with the movie. All these narratives set up constantly throughout the first one into when this one just destroys them all. Like, and the thing is, why was Lady Gaga there playing Harley Quinn?
I didn't have a problem with her. I was cool with her.
She adds nothing to the movie though. Like when she's there, it's like, oh, he gets to stroking her. He has like 3 strokes. She's pregnant. It's like, that's not how sex works. This is pointing out, you know. Well, I mean, I last 5 minutes, but you know, it's like, okay, they look at nerds like fucking losers. No one has sex like that. Just pointing it out there. That's just, first of all, no. Keep in mind, the asylum apparently hates him. The guards hate him. Yet they dump a woman in there with a crazy convicted serial killer for him to have sex with. That would only
Arkham Asylum. Did you not get the whole class thing there too?
Yeah, she
very rich. She bribed her way into
it. Before we found that out, the first part of the movie where he was in love with her, remember how he's in that cell, the solitary confinement, and they dumped her in there with him? The first part of the movie.
Yes, she bribed her way in there before that she has money.
Who would do that? Oh my god! Only in Arkham that would
someone
happen.
Who's rich, who also, like rented out his exact apartment because they're obsessed with this character that they want to see. That's not really him. I get it. You don't want to see yourself embodied on screen, and you'd like to think that you could last longer with Joaquin. But MSK, this is the reality. This is what you'd get.
Wait, I had sex with my wife last night. I lasted like 6 minutes.
Well, in all fairness, he's been in the asylum for some time, so I mean,
evidence of the group chat.
It's been a while, so let's be honest. Let's give him a break.
Evidence of the group chat. My brain's been in the asylum for a while. I'm just getting out now. But yeah, I will say movies like that do lend it to a more of a discussion because they're just so insanely crazy that the possibilities are just endless to talk about. But you know, I will still never understand. At the end of the court trial of the movie, you get this random missile in the courthouse to blow it. It's like, that was just random. Okay. All right.
So it was a car bomb outside by the crowds that were not let in. So it's not super random. They knew that he was being convicted. Like, there was a big crowd that was following the trial, and it was being broadcast. So they knew he was about to be convicted of this. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but they wanted to disrupt it because, fan of the Joker.
I will also give Joaquin credit. Not Joaquin. Oh my God, Todd Phillips. I will give him credit for this. They're all both Joker movies. I felt like he really captured how bad Gotham really is as a place. If people factor in, there's a reason why most DC characters outside of Batman are willing to actually live there. Keep in mind, he's also filthy fucking rich, so he doesn't get to actually be a part of the city most of the time. But Gotham is a horrible place. Like, it's legitimately people call it a shithole. Yeah, Gotham is a bad place. I will give Todd Phillips credit on that. He did portray Gotham very, very well. But, as Joker 2, well, certainly was a movie of all time. Certainly cinema that I had to, reluctantly watch with a girl. And we were kind of like having hot sex during the movie as well. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't pay attention to certain parts. She was getting on top of me and riding me during the movie.
I thought you said she brought her boyfriend.
That was my ex. I was with her sister. You listen to me?
Barely.
Yeah. Good God, man. Well, what else movie could be nominated for the fucking Academy Awards that was probably what people would deem like not worthy enough? So Joker 2, yeah, if someone nominates that, I'll be like, all right, the system's broken. The system's trash. I
don't know. Take your pick. There were a lot of them this year.
There's a lot of them. Holy crap, dude.
A lot of stinkers.
I mean, you were mentioning Ridley before. I was not a fan of Gladiator 2. I'm just saying. I'm glad that it didn't get many nominations. I think it got one for, was it costume or something?
Best costume.
Gladiator 2, I didn't think was horrible, but it was not even close to being on the same level of the original. And that just, I saw your comment earlier that you had some stuff to say about Ridley and his kind of drop off. This is just an example of his drop off, because you look at Gladiator 1 and 2. I mean, we're talking two totally different levels of filmmaking here.
Yeah. Completely. But
what are your thoughts on him falling off? Because I meant to ask you that earlier.
It sucks because like there's so many of his films that I love, and I just they're so amazing. And then you get like The Last Duel, and I don't know. Like I guess I heard you talking about like kind of the Rashomon effect, where you get to see the same scene from like a different angle or whatever, different point of view, which recontextualizes everything. It's interesting, but man, there were a lot of choices in that film that I didn't like. And I don't know, it's the only one that I've ever had like a trigger warning walking in. Like as I bought the tickets, they gave me like a trigger warning, and the person that like told me which theater was like, okay, and just so you know, this has some very heinous acts in it, so you should know that they show it at least twice, and be warned. You can get a refund if you want. And it was just weird, but maybe that soured my experience to it. But just the whole Matt Damon and Ben Affleck thing really took me out of it. I don't feel like I used to get that from a lot of Ridley Scott films. It was like everyone just seemed like they fit. I don't know, like he did one a long time ago called The Duelist, and that one is just like amazing. It feels like it's very much the same world as kind of The Last Duel, but
did you know like the dynamic between Matt Damon and Adam Driver? It feels like the dynamic wasn't really there for it to be a legitimate rivalry. That was my problem with it. I think the lady
Driver for me wasn't the problem. It's Matt Damon. Like I don't know, just him and Ben Affleck just didn't seem like they should be in this world.
Ben Affleck looked like a clown. No one should ever pull up what he was looking like in that movie. That was bad. Imagine going from losing out on Batman to dressing like that. Ben, do better. No, actually do better.
What's funny is that you say that they looked bad, and I thought that was a one-off until I saw the two emperors in Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
I don't feel like he used to do that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just didn't put it. But it's like everyone on the Nostromo looked like amazing, and like they felt like they belonged there. It wasn't like, okay, and now we've got Denzel on there too. It's like, I don't know, Yaphet Kotto fit in there just like perfectly. And then you get like Napoleon from last year. I don't know. There were some interesting battle scenes, but man, I don't feel like I know anything about Napoleon. I feel like it was way more about Napoleon's wife, and I just having Joaquin not be like personable in a role is just hard. Like that dude usually he sucks you in no matter what he's playing, and just for some reason that one really kind of, I don't know, it just really turned me off. So I thought maybe it's because, okay, it's not the director's cuts, and they fooled me into watching the like 3.5 hour version of that. And man, that just didn't work for me. And then we get to Gladiator 2, and just the fall off is huge. It's not a horrible movie, but compared to any like Gladiator 1, like why was this made? Why don't you just do a different Sword and Sandals one? Like I don't get it. and it feels like it's redoing a ton of the points from the first movie, but it just pales in comparison in every way. And then it undoes a lot of the amazing things that were about Maximus, that, you know, he was about family, he was about honor, except for he sired this child with, you know, somebody else out of wedlock. Don't worry about it. Like, you know, we didn't bring it up last movie, but, you know, we're going to retcon that. Just, I don't know. It just retroactively changes a lot of things for me. And it doesn't feel like it's on par with it. But if they just did their own thing with it, like, cool. Like, I love seeing Denzel, like, be Denzel. Like, hell yeah. But I don't know. Just the fact that you put that 2 after it, I have to compare it to Gladiator, and it's not good compared to that.
Yeah.
But I liked it a lot more than his last couple.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Didn't he do it's an older, well, I guess older now, but didn't he do Exodus, Gods and Kings?
Ooh, yes, he did. I want to say he did. I'm like,
yeah, because I'm wanting to say he did that one too. That's another one I was disappointed in. And that, I think that's where I started noticing that Ridley Scott just wasn't at the same level, because I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay. I'm looking at the cast on that thing, and I'm like, Christian Bale as Moses. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. Ridley Scott directing, yeah. And then I walked out of it, and I was kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I started noticing the drop off.
I think so. Oh, and I totally forgot about House of Gucci. Oh, that thing, that does not feel like a Ridley Scott film to me. That thing was bad.
House of Gucci,
worst accents ever. Yeah, with also, isn't it Adam Driver? If yeah.
I think it is.
The girl in the Last Duel, isn't her name Jodie Comer? Jodie Comer?
No.
Oh yeah, she's gorgeous.
That sounds correct, but no.
Yeah. She's not. Jodie Comer is gorgeous. Oh yeah, I remember. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. She was good in the Bike Riders.
She was in Free Guy.
Yeah, I did like her in Bike Riders. But I don't know. I think like the last one that I actually loved of his was probably The Martian, and sadly it came right after Exodus, which is weird. He still was hit or miss back then, but I thought The Martian was decent. I didn't hate Alien Covenant and Prometheus, but I didn't like what it did to the
Alien Covenant, bad, dude. It's pretty terrible.
You know, I thought Prometheus was okay, and I get what he was trying to do with it. I like elements of Prometheus, but when you compare it to the first 2 Alien films, it's not even on par with those. I mean, you just compare it to his own first Alien film, it's like it's not even close. And then Alien Covenant was a step down from Prometheus.
For sure. There's elements in there that I like, but yeah, they're not great films. I think I'd prefer if we just given it to other directors instead of having to go back to them. But I don't know. It did lead to what Fede Alvarez was able to do, and I really like Covenant. So I don't know. Yeah,
How did you like Covenant? It was, oh man, I hated watching
that. I like elements of Covenant. Excuse me, I meant to say Romulus, the one from this year.
Alien Romulus.
Screwed that up.
I like
great.
It's got nods to Prometheus and Covenant in there, as well as Resurrection and everything in the entire series.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
It gives nods to everything. You know,
fine.
The ending to Romulus was the part that I did not like the most. And part of that was because I wasn't as big of a fan of Prometheus and Covenant. Yeah, because that
also adds Resurrection in there for like heavily into Resurrection as well, which is weird. Like it's the 3 that everyone hates, and it's like, cool, that's what we're gonna end with.
Yeah, it's bold choice. It heavily goes into those particular movies. So yeah.
Because I remember the director of Alien Romulus, the last thing that he talked about, last 2 things I remember, was that he wanted to do an Alien versus Predator movie team up with the director of Prey. And he wanted to do a sequel to Alien Romulus, right? Those are the last things I remember getting brought up.
I heard he wants to do a sequel to Romulus.
Yeah.
Is what I heard.
But what is there a sequel to do? It's already kind of open and ended, right? The ship that was bringing that stuff in, the scientists on there, they let the aliens get the better of them. They all got killed. They went there's no real more story to tell. That would be kind of over.
Yeah, there is. So that happened in between 1 and 2. So we still have everything that happened on that base on 2. You know, they get there somehow.
I'm curious to see what they do with the TV show that's coming out on what is it?
You're right.
on FX.
FX, yeah.
Alien Earth.
Interesting.
Alien Earth.
I just saw the teaser thing where
it's
someone being chased like through a spaceship or something, and then all of a sudden it shows it headed towards Earth, and it's like that could be cool. We'll see.
That show's been in development for a while. That show's been in development ever since like Covenant left the theaters. Actually, I remember it's been in development for at least since 2018, at the very least.
Has it been that long that it's been in development? Wow.
I think
I didn't realize that.
I remember it's been a while because I remember didn't they want to do a sequel to Covenant? Like I remember Ridley Scott gave a few little comments about it. They should don't leave it off on that note. Come on, I know he can do better than Covenant. You know,
I don't know. Have you seen his movies since?
I actually have. Not good.
No, he can't do better. Not
he can do better, man. I believe in him. Like I'll be honest here, the ending part of Covenant, you could tell that one android got the better of him. You could tell. You're like, wait a minute. He's oh fuck. That's what I hate about movies now. So when you get those twists, you can already see him coming from a mile away. There's no subtleness about it. There's no like ambiguous nature around it. You just tell. I was like, at the end of the movie, I was watching like he swapped himself out with his counterpart. He swapped himself out. He's gonna trap her in there. And, oh my god, it's Dave. Yep, I knew it. Fuck you, bitch. Good lord. Movie over.
I've seen Covenant once. I saw it in the theaters, and I own it. And I've only seen it that one time. Because for the longest time, I had this rule that if I had part of the series, I had to buy the rest of it, whether I liked it or not. Yeah. And then The Last Jedi changed my mind on that rule. So ever since then, I don't buy them if I don't like them. But I've got Covenant, and I haven't watched it since I saw it in the theater.
Why would they need to make this though? This franchise right here. Apparently, Culture Crave posted this about a few hours ago before he did the show. Wouldn't this just be like a Fast and Furious type franchise? EA confirms the Need for Speed franchise will continue in the that's video games. I thought they were about movies. My bad. My brain went to the shitter. But to be fair, there's rumors about that. I was like, let's see. Well, there's a Megan sequel.
Yeah,
that's robotic doll. Did you ever see that? I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either, but I did see the teaser.
Gray, are you gonna watch this? I think Gray's dead. First trailer for Hurry Up Tomorrow, starring The Weeknd, Jenna Ortega, and Barry Keoghan.
Finally, the team up we needed: The Weeknd and Barry Keoghan.
Hurry Up Tomorrow. Wait, wasn't this the movie where Jenna Ortega's attracted to like some 40-year-old dude? No, that's a different movie. Remember, okay. It's about so that just looks cringe. Highest grossing films of Keanu Reeves' career. He was in Toy Story 4?
He was Duke Kaboom, right?
Oh fuck. That was just for a paycheck. He wasn't doing that series.
Yes.
That movie's bad.
It was I'm sure it was a good paycheck though.
It sure is. Yeah.
Well, why do you think he was in Sonic 3? Do you think it was just all about the artistic integrity, or do you think the paycheck
they said he was? They said he was. All the producers said he was there because he really wanted to give a best Sonic performance.
Yeah, he's had a passion for the character Shadow. You know, he's always wanted to tell Shadow's backstory.
Don't you question Keanu Reeves?
Well, didn't they say that Keanu Reeves was also up for like a role in Star Wars or something like that?
Oh my god!
No, I'm serious. And didn't he choose to go with Sonic? I could have swore I heard something like that, because then it would make sense why he went with Sonic.
I mean, oh yeah, I think I'd choose the voice acting gig over.
That was with that one. Oh, that's a good movie. That's very good. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Have you seen it? I thought you hated artsy films.
I wouldn't really call that artsy. That one's.
It's a Robert Eggers one. It's artsy as hell.
I've seen the Northman too. That movie was very good.
I liked The Northman.
Okay. Have you seen The Vivitch?
No.
Okay. It's his first one. It's really moody. It's fun. But Nosferatu, that one's kind of fun.
Joe Biden has signed with the Hollywood Joe Biden act. This okay. Fucking hell. Are they that desperate for talent? They're hiring Joe Biden? Just sounds so stupid. This has to be fake news. This is one of those things you just put out on your fucking website as an article for clickbait. What would you cast Joe Biden as? As a dementia-ridden old man? That's his role in the movie?
You have to cast him as anything. Like, you understand, like,
They
agents
should.
book you for like speaking events and stuff too, and then they can take 20%
No,
of
man.
your salary.
Cast him for
just
acting roles. Please. I want to see
that'd be
this man
fun.
act. I need cinema in my life. Imagine him acting in a movie. Oh, that would be just so fucking bad. God, man. Fantastic Four trailer does drop tomorrow.
Yep.
I will be doing I'll do a trailer reaction to it. So we'll expect that. They've never really made a good one, so this might be the best one by default, which is not really saying much, but I hope. No, fuck off. Recast it.
You don't like the 90s one? Come on, man.
I never seen that
Foreman
one.
one?
Okay, I never seen that one.
The 90s one.
I'm glad I haven't. Final Destination Bloodlines. How many movies have they done in this franchise? It's 7. This is the 7th one.
I'm guessing so.
I would hope.
Let's count after the 3rd one.
Yeah, no Devon Sawa, I'm out. But I think that this is the last acting role for. Isn't it Tony Todd's last one?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would like to see it out of respect for him, but
yeah. Jurassic World Rebirth. I've seen every one of these movies, and I mean, will I go and watch the fucking newest one in theaters? I've seen the last 2 in theaters. I watched the other 2. I watched the other 2. Oh my goodness, my brain is not working. I'm joking. I've seen Fallen Kingdom in theaters, and I've seen Dominion in theaters. I like how they're calling this Rebirth. Rebirth from what? Rebirth.
It's a way of throwing a title out there that's got like a soft reboot type name. My guess is that the previous 2 trilogies are gonna be canon for this. That's my guess. But I think this is their way of saying, okay, this is brand new, away from the Chris Pratt storyline.
Probably needed, because those Chris Pratt movies, I think I would say the only ones I've liked in these are the first one with Steven Spielberg, and I guess I liked Chris Pratt's one, because the others are 2 is really bad. 3 is really bad. Yeah, I've only really liked. I enjoyed the 2015 one, and I really liked the first one. Yeah, these movies are not good. They're bad. Yeah, it needs a reboot. Not just a reboot. Just stop doing them. But they don't, because all these movies made $1 billion. Every single one of the last 3 made $1 billion because kids just love them damn dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, and they do well internationally too.
They do very well internationally, yeah.
So that's the thing. As long as they keep making money, they're going to keep making the movies.
Scarlett Johansson in this one. Oh my God, what is she going to do? Is she going to bang that nerd guy? Is she going to bang this? She would never bang nerds like this. She would never sleep with a dude like that in her real life. Never. He wouldn't be a consideration at all. Did this universe just reboot? I have no idea what's going on. You don't need to know what's going on. A trailer hasn't been. Oh, fuck off, you fucking loser. No, this is a sequel.
Good point, though.
Well, also a standalone. Let me see. What's this classified as?
Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't it just be a reboot? Cool. It's a sequel that reboots the series.
Gray, stop it. You're killing me tonight. You might be like on crack. Jurassic movies. I mean, I'll just say this. It's probably, you guys are probably right. It's actually better if it's doesn't count to any of that shit. People seen the last 2 movies. Bad is an understatement. They're actually unwatchable.
You know what? I'll give the last movie some credit for one thing. They at least got the original cast on screen together. I was happy that they got them on screen together.
At least one time.
That being said, it doesn't mean it was a good time together. I just thought it was cool that they got them on screen together. But in all fairness, my youngest enjoyed it, but he's 17 now, but he's big into the Jurassic Park movies. I mean, he read the first book when he was like 8 years old and loved it.
Damn.
And God, yeah. I don't even understand half the book, and he was comprehending it. But anyway, he looks at me at the end of this last one and was like, "What the heck was that?" So, I mean, like I said, I'll give him credit for at least getting the cast.
We agreed. We had the same. Oh, I sat there, watched it. It was over. I was like, you know what? There's a highway. I could jump into a truck right now that's coming down the traffic, or I could go to this bridge, grab a rope, and hang myself. Those are my options.
Or you could have just gone home. I mean, that's That's the other option.
Oh, I went home. Sadly I did. I was like, death probably isn't worth over a movie. Good gosh. All right.
No, it was pretty bad.
What's the plot summary? 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's environment has shown itself to be mainly inhospitable to dinosaurs. The survivors now live in remote tropical regions with conditions similar to those in which they were formerly abundant. Zora Bennett, a covert operative, is hired to work with a paleontologist, Dr. Henry Loomis, with team leader Duncan Kincaid on a top secret mission. I'm already not interested. This sounds stupid. Their goal is to locate the 3 largest creatures within the tropics and acquire their DNA, which contains the key to a drug that will miraculously save human lives. The team crosses paths with a civilian family whose boating adventure was overturned by roving aquatic dinosaurs, leaving them all stranded on an island where they must confront a terrifying, ominous revelation that has been kept secret from the world for decades. Sounds cool in premise, but sounds kind of stupid when you read it out. So,
I mean, Dr. Loomis, though.
I'll watch it. I'm not saying I'm not gonna watch it. I've watched all these movies. This is one of those franchises you have in your life where you've watched every movie and you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I might as well see what the new one has to offer. Like that last one was so bad. Like, because the last one, all the dinosaurs are out in the world and they showed you nothing about how it really affected people's lives. They're like, yeah, that's cool. Just walk outside, see a velociraptor. People, that those things would murder you to death. They would claw you to death. You're dead.
Right.
It's like, no. Dinosaurs in the world. Here's this plot about locusts and farmland and climate change. And they wonder why people don't like going to the movies anymore. One could imagine, right, guys? Fucking hell. Chris Pratt character and what was her name? The big booty lady. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's character.
Yes.
Claire and Dylan. What was the character? Claire and Dylan. They had no on-screen chemistry. I don't know why they kept forcing it. It was bad. It was so unbelievably not believable. Holy crap. Well, we're getting to that point in the night where the wife's calling me to thrust inside of her. Do you guys believe me?
No.
Okay, good. Just as long as Gray believes me, that's all that matters, I think he left to go take care of his dogs. It's considered a standalone sequel. I hate Hollywood. It's 5 years after the last one, but it's a standalone sequel. Please somehow make that make sense.
My guess is they'll look at the events like, yeah, dinosaurs left the island and they were all over the world. But then that's when they'll open it up by saying, oh, but now they're all dying out because of climate change. There's only a few places where they can survive.
Oh God, Hollywood.
That's what I'm thinking, because it said that
right,
that several of the areas were not hospitable to them. So so it has to involve some sort of climate change message.
Who's directing the Rebirth movie? Gareth Edwards. He directed Godzilla,
Rogue One, right?
And Rogue One.
He did
and
Rogue
Creator.
One. Oh, that's right. I forgot he did Creator. That's a good movie. I liked The Creator.
I've seen all this guy's movies randomly. Yeah, I've seen these. Okay, if he's doing it, there might be some hope there. He can do. I think this is the type of movie that he can excel at. But then again, the 2014 Godzilla movie, the one that leads into all these Godzilla versus Kong movies, that first one is the best one. I think he did the best one out of all of them. Still, if you look back, because Kong Skull Island. I watched that and I was like, man, this is certainly a movie. I'll call it that. This is certainly a movie of all time. Truly cinema on epic proportions right here. Samuel Jackson beat King Kong by fire. No, I'm not shitting.
The 70s soundtrack. I mean, you're forgetting the soundtrack, man.
That's true.
Pretty
that was cool. That was cool. You know what? I didn't have a problem with Skull Island. I was fine with it, but it wasn't like anything great or anything like that. Like I didn't like. Let's put it this way. I think I've seen it. I saw it in the theaters once, and I think I've seen it a couple of times on TV, but I haven't taken the time to go and sit and do like a rewatch of it or anything like that. Not lately anyway. And I like to do rewatches of franchises whenever a new one comes out. when the newest Kong and Godzilla movie came out, I didn't rewatch any of these beforehand.
What was I seeing? Did you like King of the Monsters? I thought that one was just.
I was okay with it.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where it's like it tries to go so big, it ends up just losing itself through it. Like she was forcing herself to say that "Long live the king" part when that character died. I was like, this lady's not trying. This lady's literally not trying in the movie. Holy shit! Godzilla vs Kong. I liked that one. That was fun. I enjoyed that one. I haven't seen the second one yet, but I remember I've only enjoyed like the 2014 Godzilla movie. I remember the Godzilla vs Kong one. I did enjoy that one. These movies are
like the Godzilla vs Kong movies. To me, they're not good movies, but they're fun because they don't have to be good movies. You just have to see a bunch of cool monster action. And I mean, and if that's all, if that's all you want, then they're gonna have what you need. But if you're wanting some Academy Award winning story from the human actors, you're not getting it.
Why can't we nominate Godzilla vs Kong 2 for Best Picture? Let's make it happen.
That was better than Amelia Pettis, so
yeah. Monkey Glove was believable. Plus, there was monkey dentistry. It hits a lot of the same beats.
That's right. I forgot about that shit.
Oh shit, man. Oh. Sorry, there's a helicopter over the roof. It's coming down to take me. The feds got me, man. They got me. They were in the trees, man. They were looking at me with the guns and the silencers. There was a single mom that walked by me and she smiled at me because her son was like light skinned. So I think she was trying to get my number. Yeah. She was trying to hit on me.
That's the only reason why she would smile. I'm sure like it wasn't nervousness or anything like that, or like, oh God, it's noticing me. You're right. She wanted your digits. Did she ask you for the digits?
She did smile at me. She did it twice. Now I've seen her, so it looks like she wants me to rail her. Just saying. She might be looking for a stepdad. So Oh God.
You sure she didn't just think that maybe you're a lost child and maybe her motherly instincts kicked in or something?
You know what's crazy? I did watch The Creator. I watched it in theaters. There's no thing. When you go to movies, there's no one in the freaking theaters anymore. My theater, if you go and you see a random movie on like a random date, you're lucky if you get one person there. I'll be the only guy in there watching it. To be fair, sometimes it's better to watch a movie alone because sometimes when people chew loud or kids are in there or teenagers are in there, they get obnoxious. I don't mind watching movies alone, but if it's like an event film, like I went and watched Sonic 3 like 7 o'clock. There was literally me and a mom and her son in there. That was it. I was like, there was a bigger crowd turnout for Sonic 2. Sonic, it was packed crowd when I went in there.
Yeah, it depends on the movie. Like for
dangerous
example, an example is like No Way Home. If you watch No Way Home by yourself, it's not even close to being what it should have been. But you watch it opening night with a full crowd, then yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's like it sucks now because it's like in certain areas, do people not care to go to the movies anymore? Do people not care about, I guess, watching movies in movie theater? It's like, well, I mean, you can't really blame them because the number one reason why people don't watch movies in the movie theater more is because they said it costs too much money. And I agree, it costs way too much money, but I understand it from a theater point of view because they make their money off the concession stands, selling you chicken wings or selling you fucking popcorn. I understand. I get it. Like I get it from both people's point of view. So it's like no one's right or wrong in that. It's just you understand it based off the circumstances you're in. And even when, because how we talked about on here, they're going to try to elevate the theater experience. The only way you get to elevate the theater experience, make a brothel, legal prostitution. Okay, hear me out. After seeing a movie.
So let's circle back. So you think that your favorite cinema snack is chicken wings?
Yeah,
I was going to say something with that too. So,
oh no, and we talked about watching Kong Skull Island earlier. Woo! The jokes write themselves.
Okay, man. So, will your brothel be serving the chicken wings as well?
Don't tell me what a good time. Oh God. So no, I'm saying like outside of a brothel, if that's too much for you guys, they need to make it like a lively event. Like before you watch the movie, people said bowling. That's cool. You could do that. You could do miniature golf. That's kind of fun.
Good news. They're putting in pickleball courts.
What the hell is pickleball?
It's a white people activity. It's kind of like ping pong, but you're slightly bigger. But you're on a court. It's just smaller than a tennis court.
That's cool. No, I like that. Yeah, ping pong before you go see a movie. Just they have to elevate the experience to get people to come back. But keep in mind,
you want to sit in a theater with a bunch of like huffing, sweaty like people who just got done like doing sports, or would you rather people like wanted to actually watch a movie? Man, the movie should be the event. You don't need to like make this circus happen around some flick. I don't want to see some kid with like I don't know, a whole bunch of like light up toys because they got them at the circus outside and bring it into the theater. Just play a great movie. Like that was awesome back in the day. People used to line up for days. It was an event, and it's just not anymore. And I think that's one of the reasons why we don't have comedy anymore, because you need a crowd and it needs to be laughing. A comedy doesn't play the same when it's just you by yourself.
I agree with you. But the problem with that, dude, people want to go to the theaters. How do you get them they have to walk in the building, Gray.
Okay, part of that though, it's a combination of reasons. You mentioned the expense of it. It is so expensive to go to a movie that a lot of times people will wait till it is an event movie. There's a reason why Barbenheimer made all the money that it did, because it became an event. It was extremely marketed well. It was like, you've got to go see Barbenheimer. For the ladies, you got to go see Barbie. For everyone else, you got to go see Oppenheimer. You got to go see these two movies. This is the movie event of the year. And people went to go see it. Why? Or both of them. Why? Because it was an event. And then, you look at, which one was it? I think Mission Impossible came out the same time. Or like
a week before.
Yeah. And nobody went to see that. And that was a really, really good movie. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but
it's crazy. I think the reason why it failed, it failed because it came out at the absolute wrong time. Because for people who don't know this, for people who like us who go to the movies pretty consistently, it kind of works like in a rotation form. So the newest movie drops, the most people that will watch it then. And then if they go like the next week, they're not going to go and watch Mission Impossible 7. They're going to potentially watch the newest movies that came out, because those are the newest movies that just came out right then. The movie just came out at the absolute wrong time, and it came out when 2 new blockbusters were dropping.
That's my point. Is that those 2 were the event for everyone to go see. So it's like, well, if I'm going to spend my money, I'm not going to spend it on Mission Impossible. I'm going to go spend it on to go see Barbenheimer. So that's what everybody was excited about, because it was an event. So we don't see people going out to the theaters because there's not as many films that are event films that you got to go see.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's kind of like the whole TV thing. It's like TV now is, I guess, not like you could say, not must see TV. Like these aren't essentially must see movies. But then again, they functioned like that back then too. But the problem now is, for the reason back then, is people generally feel like, this is how I feel, and this might be a general common sentiment, that people feel like the quality of movies has dipped so massively down to the ground, to the actual shithole, that it's just not worth going, because the quality of movies isn't going to be good, and then you're wasting all of this money going, and it's like, you could have just maybe waited for it to come on streaming. The problem with doing that is like, that's going to have an effect on the movie theaters. It's going to have an effect on when movie projects get greenlight, because people always say, well, I don't want to go see sequels and remakes of popular franchises. Well, if we're being factually honest here, that's what makes the most money. Actually, we'll just use last year as an example. I'll use last year as an example. 2024, the movies that made the most money were sequels. People said, I don't want to see sequels anymore. You liars. You all fucking liars. You say they're like, fans are like politicians too. They don't notice it. Fans are like, I don't want to go see that. I'd rather see some artsy cinema. You don't watch it. I'm being honest, they don't watch it. It's literally like people. Oh, I couldn't go watch that new Martin Scorsese movie because like my wife was having sex with my brother. I was getting evicted from my house, and like my car got repoed. But you watched Wolverine.
If your car's getting repoed and you're getting evicted, you don't have the money to go see it anyway. So,
but it's crazy, man. It's always an excuse why they can't watch the cinema movies, but they'll always make it to the newest Transformer movie by Michael Bay. Yeah, no excuses then. Oh yeah, my wife is great. Happy wife, happy life. I got hired at a new job. Motherfuckers are liars. That's why I don't take people seriously when they talk sometimes, man. Because it's the numbers. People say numbers. We'll think. What's the saying? Numbers never lie. That's the saying, right? Numbers don't lie. The numbers prove people don't really go and watch that other kind of cinema. They don't, you know? There's a reason why the superhero movies have dominated for as long as they have. People just choose to watch them over other things. I'm not saying that you're always gonna get a great superhero movie, but if that's what the audiences are paying for, you kind of got to give them what they want, you know? Well, Star Wars hasn't been doing that for a long time, so we don't have to worry about that at all, you know? Will this helicopter go away? Gray, are you alive?
I'm sure he stepped away.
There's literally a helicopter.
No, I'm here. I'm just laughing at him behind the scenes. You know, they're going to find you eventually, MSK. I keep giving them your coordinates. They're going to be able to target in on you soon enough. Then, you know, they'll eventually go away. But, yeah, I got to disagree with you on the Star Wars thing. I think, you know, Skeleton Crew was a divergence from where they had been going before, and I'm digging what they're doing now. So I am looking forward to some of what's coming out this year. I believe Andor Season 2 is coming out.
I do think that'll be good. I did like Season 1, so I'll give you that. And Skeleton Crew, I didn't hate it, but I didn't particularly like it. But I got to be honest, I'm not the target audience with that. So it's I'm so for that reason I'm not hating on it.
Not because I have like a childlike mind or anything like that, but man, I love those like 80s films that it really is like a love letter to, like Explorers, Goonies, like any one of those like kind of kids going on a mission thing, even like Space Camp, they essentially are paying homage to. So I don't know, I really dug it, but yeah, you know, it felt like it is for the kids for sure. But I don't know, I enjoyed it in a way that I haven't with a lot of the Disney Star Wars things. So,
but you know, to me, that when it comes to the Disney Star Wars, my expectations were so low that for the Skeleton Crew, they could come out and complete a sentence, and I was like, boy, this is better than the previous stuff. Because I'll give Skeleton Crew this: it was better than Boba Fett, it was better than the Acolyte, it was better than season 3 of The Mandalorian. It was better than Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, God, that was the one
Obi-Wan
that disappointed me the most.
That one did. After watching that, I quit. I had to. There was no hope. If you can't do Obi-Wan good, I have literally no hope. That show is bad. Actual shit.
To be honest, though, I had some hope. Like Mando season 1 was pretty damn good. Most of Mando season 2 was good.
Yes,
I love all the Bill Burr stuff in there. Like that was awesome. Those are 2 of my favorite episodes. But man, there's some fall off in that.
You know, and what's sad, I think, about Obi-Wan is Obi-Wan could have easily been a character study of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. And I think that it would have been a much better series had they done that instead of trying to shoehorn in other characters and have them as lead characters. Like the Reva character, she could have been a great character, but not as a lead. Like, to me, she should have just been a badass Inquisitor who's fighting Obi-Wan, maybe hold her own against him, lose, but hold her own against him. And you could have used her for another series down the line and kind of leave some mystery to her. But the way they took her character and made her a lead character, it took away from the 2 that we actually were there to watch the story for.
Okay. I feel like the helicopter has left. It's going to circle back again. But yeah, I think that's the problem they need to kind of get down is what the hell kind of Star Wars content do they want to make? Like, I know people don't really want. Oh, it's not. I shouldn't say that. Maybe people want me to make the Star Wars content. I'll make it good. I'm gonna have lightsabers going in and out of girls. Just kidding. Jokes. Comic book stuff. They have to do something, you know, because it feels like they wanted to redefine Star Wars and make it their own, where a female protagonist and all this other stuff. All that shit failed. They need to actually do stuff in continuity that people like. Literally, you might have to do what people said. Don't count episode 7, 8, 9 as canon. You probably have to do that. because this next Star Wars movie with Daisy Ridley, apparently it's going to be like, what, 10 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker? It's like, who's interested in Daisy Ridley? She's a sucky actor. She's trash, guys. You can't make her work. Okay.
I still don't think that's going to see the light of day.
I've seen her in the movie where she was with Kenneth Branagh. She was in that one.
Oh, the Orient Express.
She was getting carried so hard in that movie. I saw the Star Wars movie, so I've seen 3 of those. That's 4 movies I've seen her in. I've seen her in Switched at Birth, a TV series. She sucked in that. She's not a good actress. Why do people keep trying to push her to this forefront? She sucks. She has no way of, I don't know, it just feels like she's never trying. It feels like she's just actually just going through the motions. Like, to hinge your whole franchise off a Daisy Ridley solo Star Wars movie, it's like, that might just insanely bomb hard. Because you have Mandalorian and Grogu 2026, and it's like, is anybody really looking forward to that? You know?
I'll go see it, but I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it after season 3. But yeah, I mean, I'll still go see it because I did like season 1 a lot. And season 2, like Gray said, it was good for the most part, and I loved the ending to season 2. So,
all right, so we're gonna wrap it up here in a little bit. I gotta get some stuff done with a friend coming up. I gotta get to my next podcast. I'm gonna get some food, eat, then get to my league podcast. There's a lot of talk about over there. So nice
no
little
way. None of that makes any sense. But okay. So you're not happy for this Daisy Ridley one, but how else are you going to suggest that they kill Chewbacca? I mean, if you don't bring back Daisy Ridley, how else are you going to get that done, MSK? Come on.
Yeah, they got to kill Chewbacca. They've killed everybody else. So
yeah, I mean, who's left? Just R2.
Uncle Kagi once said, "With great power comes great big booty bitches."
That's my answer to that. Unless she starts twerking. Unless she literally starts busting one on the table, on the ground, with her ass twerking. I don't care. Will I watch it? Maybe, out of apathy. I think she's pretty attractive, but, like, you know, I think a lot of women are attractive, you know?
I'll watch it to review it for my channel, but if it comes out, I don't even
apathy. I don't even.
It's like Snow White. I'm not interested in Snow White, but I'm gonna go see it so I can review it for my channel.
He's bringing his daughter to watch it. That's why his daughter wants to see it.
My daughter's older. If she wants to go see Snow White, she can go on her own. Well, but you know what? I probably should take her. I don't want to go by myself.
Because that way you can have an excuse, like, why don't you go see this movie? Oh, my daughter wanted to. Oh, they probably think you have a little girl, a little daughter, like 5-year-old. Like, yeah, she wanted to see it. No. I'm only here because I actually talk about it on fucking online. Oh God, man. Like, I haven't seen the original Swan movie forever. I should probably rewatch it. It's been a long time. I've seen Mirror Mirror. I know I've seen that. And I've seen the one with Christian Stewart.
Oh, The Huntsman.
And I saw the sequel to it. Yeah, those were just yikes. Snow White. Oh God, please. Like, it's one of those things where skin as pure as white snow, they casted a Puerto Rican. You know, if we're at that point, let's just get in the volcano and jump. Because nothing can be fixed at that point. If you can't even cast the lady with the actual skin tone she's supposed to have, when it's literally embedded into her character, fucking hell.
I read that they have a reason why she was able to be called.
She went through the Michael Jackson process.
I don't know, but there's a reason why. They already talked about it, but it was so ridiculous. I already forgot what it was.
Good Lord, man. Rachel Zegler going like, yeah, I was scared of the Disney ride when I was a kid. And then she said, Snow White's a great character. Oh my God, what a shitty person. Just can't hold any convictions. Like, okay, if you didn't like the original movie, you didn't like her as a character, that's fine. Then stick by that. You know? Like, say what you mean and say it with your chest. Like, if you actually believe it. But then to just like turn and have no convictions, like, oh my God, fuck this broad. Oh,
you know, the thing with Rachel Zegler is I really don't even think she's a terrible actress. I don't think she's a great actress, but I don't think she's a terrible actress. Yeah. I thought she was fine in the Hunger Games prequel.
Yeah, I've heard nothing like Nothing but good news about that one. I didn't hate her in Y2K. She wasn't the worst part in that. She wasn't what I hated about that movie.
Yeah, she's not terrible. I mean, like I said, she's not great. It's not like, wow, that's the best acting performance I've ever seen or anything like that. But I mean, she's not terrible. So it's just everything she says, on
don't have
on
her
her
do
own. That
interviews.
just, good Lord.
She's like MSK, like just wrangle her in. Maybe he can play a part, and then just don't let the public get a hold of them because they're gonna put their foot in their mouth.
There you go.
You try to go to someone's channel and see if they're good enough to maybe like potentially hit up for a collab. Then they have a Blue Sky account. All right, nope. There's going to be some he, hims, they, thems, she, hers, pronouns in bio. Nope. Those are usually just automatic nopes. You won't be getting messages from me. But yeah, Gray's going to be here on Mondays now. So I gave him a pay raise, actually. I gave him a fat contract. Don't you love your big contract?
3 nuggies. 3 chicken nuggies. It's per episode, man.
I was going to give you 6.
I was hoping for 6. Okay. That means you don't get your cut of them. Nice. Usually you're taking your 25%. But okay.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. This guy still has a Mastodon account. Who has that? Oh, remember all those fail Twitter social media clones like Threads? Fastest downloaded app ever. No one talks about it. Blue Sky talked about it for like a week. No one talks about it. They always try to be Twitter. Twitter's just the best social media platform. It just is by far. It's the best way to connect with people, best place for news. It's the everything app.
Twitter doesn't exist. Are you talking about X,
sir? Yeah. Oh, real Gray, you now signed on to that cool dad territory. Back in my day,
Well, I mean, Ground X is okay, but SpaceX, man, that's the real thing. I don't know. It took me way too long to realize that's why he called it X. But fair enough. If I ever want to see a death within 30 seconds, I just open up my X account. It's awesome. I have the worst algorithm ever, but it kind of pumps you up in a weird way.
Yeah. Just opening up X and seeing a guy film his death in a plane crash. Yeah, probably not something you want to see every day. X is it's literally everything you will see on it. Everything. Yeah. And all these illegals out there being like, yeah, we love America, out here protesting with a Mexico flag. Yeah, you're not beating the allegations. And halting traffic, like those weird climate people. What are you doing? This is why I dated a Mexican. I was like, man, there's a reason why I don't date you people anymore. You people are insane. And you rap too. God, Lee, no one can understand you. All you do is make burritos and tamales and tacos and quesadillas. Fucking hell, man. Good God, dude. God, I hate these people. But I love me some tacos. Whew, man, I will eat them from the back and the front. So, yeah, great. We'll just do your paycheck next week. We'll give you the biggest contract ever. But no, I do want to mention something before we start doing outros, which is potentially, I will let you guys know in advance if there's no topics, if there's a movie we can review together, I'll let you guys know in advance. That way you can watch it at least.
Oh, and you're actually going to see it this time? Wow. So one of these days we'll do the Union review. Awesome.
What movie do you guys want to see? Just let me know.
What movie are you going to see?
That's the problem.
I'll seen it.
I mean, the reason why I usually pick Netflix ones is because everyone has Netflix and it's just much easier just putting up a movie on Netflix to watch it.
Just let me know and I'll watch it.
There's a movie called Under Paris, but it's a shark movie, so I want to match you guys up.
What you're talking about, yeah.
A lot of people said it was very good. I love shark movies, so I want to see a well-made good one. You know what? Fuck it. No, nothing new. Let's start with something classic good. I want to watch Deep Blue Sea. I love that fucking movie. I probably seen that movie like 1,000 times. I'll rewatch it again. I don't care. I love Deep Blue Sea. What a great movie that is. That's like actually a popcorn movie in the way that a popcorn movie should be done. So, you know what's crazy? We all pick a movie to start. If you're gonna pick a movie, I would prefer not a sequel. If you're gonna do a movie, it has to be the beginning part of a franchise. I cannot do a sequel if I haven't did the first one. So pick a movie. You know what we're gonna do? I'll put a poll out on Twitter and this channel, and then I'll check the results in a few days, and we'll see what they picked. So my movie's Deep Blue Sea. You guys will have yours to pick. Anyone you want, I'll do it. And come on, it might be a movie I haven't seen. I've never seen Terminator, so
really,
yeah, I've never seen a lot of classics a lot of people like, but I've seen a lot of other
You've
classics
never
too.
seen Terminator?
Never
but
have.
You're up to date on shark movies?
Hey. You shut your
mouth.
I
think you just came up with the movie right there.
So Gray, Bob's Terminator. Okay, cool. Bob's Terminator.
I'll throw it out there, Terminator. If you've never seen it,
were you right, Bob? You have to try. God, it's hard to get you old guys to trying things. It's over, man. It's over. We're losing our life, guys. Okay. But yes, Terminator, Deep Blue Sea, Gray. What you got?
Does it matter? Like, you're not going to see it anyway.
You don't trust me? Okay, well, just put out 2 movies then. Okay, Gray. Okay, but I'll say, I don't know about next week because I told Syfax we're gonna review Scream. Okay, make sure I'm pacing myself out. I'm watching Scream on Saturday late night Friday late night after the comic book review. Then I'm reviewing Scream Saturday. Okay, so then
so you're talking the original Scream?
Yeah. We're gonna watch and review all of them before the new one. So I'm watching Scream late Friday to review it with Syfax on Saturday. So after that's over on Saturday, going on the watch party. So Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, keep in mind you're gonna watch the Super Bowl. So why don't you just tell us which show
we'll just do it the following week after Super Bowl Sunday. We'll do it then, because that'd be because on Sunday I could watch it after I do the league podcast, because I have no show scheduled that day except for that one. So yeah, we'll do it after Super Bowl Sunday. So yeah, we're gonna try and get some more content, because as you guys know, when there's no topics, we just kind of just talking as dudes, which is fun, which is always fun.
So but, so not next Monday, but the following Monday, we're looking at
that way. If there's no topics, we can just do a movie review
or whatever.
Well, why not? Yeah, can't the sequels? They're movies. Let's say they're movies, and they're certainly the movies of all time. Truly cinema you don't want to watch. The second one might be one of the worst movies ever made. Like, the CGI looked like someone did that shit in Adobe Premiere for 5 minutes.
All right.
No. I'll show you.
I believe you.
Bad. But someone told me a movie that was so bad. He was like, "No, believe me, I believe you." You're not gonna convince me. I watched the trailers. They look like shit. All right, Gray. What you got planned coming up, man? Besides getting me on that darn Kidditz show one of these weeks.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. What can I say? You're not welcome over there. But please, super chat in. It's fun, MSK. But yeah, a video coming real soon. I'm hoping to release it tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday at the least. There were a bunch of people who were saying that they were all for free speech and comedy when Dave Chappelle had his kind of anti-trans thing going. And, they just kept seeing that they were on the side of comedy. And then all of a sudden, Bill Burr goes and does this interview on Jimmy Kimmel, and suddenly all the right wing has completely about-faced and are saying that it is the worst, and comedy is now dead. He is no longer a comedian. So I got a comedian friend together, and we went through a bunch of old material. So yeah, there should be a video on the new Joke Police coming out very soon on my channel, either tomorrow or the next day. But other than that, there's The Thinkers every Thursday morning where, people from like 4 different countries, possibly continents, get together and disagree about everything. I have no idea what we're disagreeing about this week, but go over to that darn Kidditz channel. Check it out. That's about all I got going on. Bob, what you got going on, sir?
Let's see. I just did a review a few days ago for Companion. And then today I put out a review on my channel, or not a review, but a reaction to the Cobra Kai trailer. Probably get one out for the Fantastic Four tomorrow. And that's on my main channel at Was It Good at Bob Loves Movies. And then on my second channel with my friends at Dad's Turn to Talk, we'll probably do an analysis of the Fantastic Four trailer as well, just because we've been talking about the MCU quite a bit over there the last couple of weeks. So I'm sure that we're going to touch on that. We're also going to give our Super Bowl predictions on Dad's Turn to Talk this week, as well as we want to talk about the Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis trade. So
did you? Before we go, what is your quick thoughts on that? I want to hear your quick thoughts on it. That might be one of the craziest random trades ever.
I think it benefits the Lakers long term, but not for this season. And I think it actually benefits the Mavs short term, simply because I get why they're wanting a better defensive presence. So I think it affects them or helps them short term, but not long term, because you don't give away a star power like that and it help you long term. But I mean, we'll see. But that's what I think initially.
Yeah, I think that's where I kind of landed on it too. We know there's more to the story that's going to be coming out in the media, because no one person's going to that actually had the problem with Luka Doncic is going to be like, this is really what happened. Guys, I've seen, because like even just in League of Legends, I've seen this stuff happen so much where it's like big situation like this unfolds. And keep in mind, the reason why you saw what happened is because that is the end result of a bunch of shit that has been building up, because that just didn't happen and get talked about in one night and the next day you sign it. No, what I believe is they didn't like him anymore. Maybe he had some personal problems with the staff or the coaches, and it got to the point where they went, you know what? I'd rather actually just get this guy the hell away from me before I punch this guy. So they were like, you know what? I'd rather potentially sack our season getting rid of him than having to keep this guy around anymore. Because keep in mind, I understand people will do some crazy shit, or if you push them to the point where they have no other way out, they'll do anything. Because keep in mind, it happened on a Saturday night at like 8 my time, or we like 10, 11 for you guys. It's so random. It was
so like I said, we'll talk about that over on our show. Talk, and we'll also like I said, we'll do an analysis of Fantastic
basketball team you're a fan of. Are you a Mavs fan?
No, actually, I just enjoy the sport. I don't have a particular team that I follow. So
yeah, that's what I thought too. You know, the Lakers get the benefit of that because Anthony Davis is always kind of out in the season, not playing many games. Sometimes he can be an MVP, and I honestly thought he would be a Laker until he died. Like that would be the team he would stay on forever. You thought that was going to be a for lifer player you had there. It just sucks that he had to go. It's like that's you're right. Because Luka Doncic starts turning it on. Well, Dallas, you might have just screwed your entire season if he starts doing that. You know. Yeah. So yeah, as you guys know, for myself, I'm very busy this week. So starting it out with okay. Tonight, the Cloud9 podcast. I told you guys it was going to be on Monday this week because I couldn't do it yesterday because I was just so busy and the games went longer than I thought. And that is also going to be the case with next Monday as well, and also they'll probably be with me and James instead of Chaz because Chaz has to go to work early the next day. So for us right now, he's already asleep. So that's the reason why you're probably going to get it with me and James for just this Monday. And the next one, it'll return back to its normal Sunday time after these next 2 weeks, after these first 2 weeks coming up. But it'll always be on Thursday. So you have Thursday for it too. Tuesday, tomorrow, we're going to be doing a comic book. Oh, Tuesday. Yes. So you have me and Labs Comic Fan doing a show around 4, if I check my schedule. And then you're also going to have me and Professor Savage Dad reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man Married with Children Volume 1. We're doing that. Make sure I have everything ready, up and go. And then we also have Wednesday's panel show. We're going to feature a new consistent panelist, a guy that I've wanted to have on for a while. And then after that, we have a one-on-one. 2 one-on-ones, actually. And then after that, the Cloud9 podcast. And then we're going to have an Absolute Power hardcover review with me and Labs Comic Fan. Late Friday night, I'm going to watch Scream so I can review it with Cyfax on Saturday. And then that's pretty much it because I have to get ready for Super Bowl Sunday because I usually take that day off. That's like one of the few days off I get during the year because I'll come home after I get off work. It'll probably be really busy. Come home. I might stream the game on Rumble because Tubi's going to have the game. Tubi got the rights to play the Super Bowl this year. So I might stream it. I might do a watch party, but it has to be on Rumble. It can't be on YouTube or Twitter. That would be bad. That's a strike. Your channel's gone. So we'll see. Or if not, I'll probably just do a watch party on like League of Legends games or some shit like that. I don't know yet. But yeah, got a busy week ahead. But I was going to say thank you to the guys who come on. We had a great conversation tonight. But yes, moving forward, if there's not topics, because I really can't control when there's topics, that's why we should do like one movie at a time, because if you do like more than one, then topics could come up and you just kind of like collide with the movie review. So when there's not topics, we'll be covering a movie, and Gray loves talking about his movies. So he'll be going on for hours. I'm like, I can clip this out. Free content I'm not even trying to do. I'll be honest here, man. I haven't pre-recorded the video since like that Rip Reveal showcase video I did like a month ago. I ain't pre-recording shit. I'm just doing it on the streams. I just clip it out Whew, black guy not working. I'm just a living stereotype. So yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. We'll see you guys later. Have a great night, buddy. See you guys later.